Hello and welcome back to my live show. Welcome to all of my replay viewers. Welcome to those of you who are catching me live. But I know most of you who are watching at this time will probably be watching the replay. So I'm Shanta Prince, and I help women coaches build their personal brands, create high ticket offers, and get paying clients. So, what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about 12 different ways you can make money as a coach, mentor, consultant, whatever one of those categories you fall into. I know that not everybody is a coach, and I understand that. Some of you fall more into the mentorship space. But in essence, we all pretty much do the same thing, meaning that we're all on a mission to change people's lives. And we are the product because we use our gifts, our expertise, and our knowledge to help other people get to that next level, whatever that looks like for them. So we already understand that there's so many different things going on in the economy right now. Lots of people are having financial issues. Lots of businesses are having financial issues. So there can be a lot of pressure when it comes to trying to figure out how to navigate through these times. And so one thing that I want to share with you today is that there's so many different things that you can do to keep your business on the cutting edge, but to also make sure you're providing the things that your audience needs, the things that your audience is looking for. Hey, Joaquin. So first of all, here's the thing. I am speaking from experience because I at one point was really like stubborn on what I was offering, and I was like, this is what I'm offering, and that's it. So, but in the past, I've done all kinds of different things to generate income, and I'll talk about some of those things today. But it depends on where you are and what you want to do right now. But I think that this is a great time to try some different things when we're in a space where lots of people may not, some people who would invest in your higher ticket programs may not be willing to do that right now for various reasons. And I know that, hey, Natasha, I know that there's a lot of things going on with people who are shifting around. They're either losing their jobs or they're moving into different positions and different jobs, period. And so there's just a lot of there's a lot going on. Times are tumultuous right now. And because of that, you still have people who are moving forward. They're focusing on purpose. And this is what I encourage my clients to do. Keep serving, keep focusing on your purpose, and you're still going to be standing when the smoke clears, because that's really what it's all about, right? It's about serving other people. So when it comes to coaching and mentoring, there's so many different things that you can do to serve people in different ways. So for example, when I talked about earlier how maybe some people are not at the place where they're willing to invest in your higher ticket programs, and that could be for various reasons. It could be that maybe they don't know. I've had people tell me, I want to invest, but I can't, like, I don't know what's next for me. I can't see 12 months down the line. And I don't even know if I'll be able to keep up with staying in the 12-month program. So I can't see that far. But then I have some people who are like, yes, I'm ready to do this. So you're always going to have people who can, who are ready to commit. But there's some other things that you can do to still collect any money that you may possibly be leaving on the table. So we pay different amounts of money for different things. For example, I was sharing with one of my client how some people, some people, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, Joaquin. So I was sharing with my client how some people, they may pay for one thing, but then they'll pay more for that same thing in a different setting. So for example, if someone buys a book, like for example, one of my favorite books that I use is this book right here, is How to Write Copy That Sells. I love this book. It's a really great book. But I paid, I don't know, the back of the book says $17.95, but I bought it years ago. So I paid $17.95 for this book. However, I would pay $1,795 to hear the author teach on this in person. So I said that to say that, you have to think about how other people may be looking for things in different formats. So So for example, if you teach a class, there's a possibility that people would pay to work closely with you to help them accomplish the things that you teach in the class. So think about the things that you can offer as we go through the 12 different ways. And of course, there are more, but today we're going to talk about 12. Hey, oh, Joaquin is saying I'm in the Philippines. Hey, Joaquin. So let's talk about the 12 different ways. I used to talk about 15 different ways. Today we're going to talk about 12. So I'm basically giving you different ways that you can monetize your expertise. What I mean by monetize is put that thing in a form that somebody can actually use. Not in your head, not just an idea, not on your computer, sitting in the folder somewhere, but put it in a form that other people can use and that they'll pay you for. So if you've got this process in your head for how to accomplish a specific thing, you could turn that thing into something that you could actually sell, meaning you can monetize it. Okay. So the first obvious way that we as coaches, mentors, and consultants monetize our expertise is with our programs, right? So two ways. So first of all, you can have a one-on-one program. That's one way to make money as a coach, mentor, or consultant. You can have a one-on-one program where you work with a person one-on-one. I don't do a lot of one-on-one coaching, but that's just my style. I like to talk. I like to teach. So I don't do a ton of one-on-one coaching. I have considered opening up some spots for one-on-one coaching in the future. However, the way that I prefer to do my coaching is with group, and that's number two. So you can do one-on-one coaching, number one, or you can do group coaching, which is the second way to make money as a coach. Or you can do both. You can take one-on-one clients and you can take group coaching clients. So the main difference is that when you're working one-on-one, usually, of course, it's going to cost more because that person is getting your one-on-one attention. If you have a group program, it's going to cost less because you're working in a group setting. Both work well. It depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it. So it's up to you to decide, like, okay, I want to do one-on-one coaching, I want to do group coaching, I want to do both. It's totally up to you how you want to do it. You got to figure out what's going to work best for you and what's going to work best for your clients. But one-on-one coaching, with me being I'm a true introvert. So for me, I'm not too much of a fan of the one-on-one. However, I do see the value in it. And one-on-one coaching can be super helpful, especially if you have someone who's ready to work with you in that capacity. And one-on-one coaching can be very lucrative for your business. You can bring in some really nice income if you decide to go that way, because you're serving someone on a deeper level. Like, all of your attention is focused on them and what they're working on. So think about if that's something that you want to consider. Or maybe you've done group coaching and maybe you're like, okay, like, let me go ahead and start offering some one-on-one coaching. It's totally up to how you want to do it. I always say that the reason why we start these businesses is because we want to make sure we're building a business that we can live life, so that we can live life and have freedom, right? So if you feel like something is going to tie you down, or you won't have the freedom and the joy that you would have, I would say don't do that thing. Find something else to do. So if you're like, listen, I absolutely do not like one-on-one coaching, then you may want to consider group coaching. Or maybe you were the other way around. Maybe you don't like group coaching. So maybe you're like, listen, I don't like coaching in groups. I'd rather do the one-on-one. But just think about how you want to do it: one-on-one, group coaching, or some of both. Okay. All right. The third way that you can make money as a coach or mentor is with live events. You can host live events. You can do live workshops. You can do live retreats. You can do all kinds of things. And these events can be virtual or in person. Okay. So you set up an event pretty quickly with a small amount of friction, meaning there's not too many obstacles in your way to get this thing going. One of my clients, Natasha, you just saw her comment. You might want to go ahead and connect with Natasha. She's doing um, a workshop, unapologetically no workshop. She's teaching you how to get your life back. So all of those things that have happened to us that we cannot control, that have caused us to feel like we're out of control with our own lives. Natasha's going to be talking about how to get your life back, how to get back in control of your life, how to set healthy boundaries, and a whole bunch of other things. She is amazing. So you may want to connect with her to get signed up for that workshop. But that's an example of something that you can do as a coach or a mentor. You can host a workshop so that people that people can work with you in other capacities. So if you're one of those people and you're like, I posted the other day on my page about how I was like, that fear of the unknown, like I started to feel that, like, oh my goodness, like what's happening next, like what's coming next for not just my business but like my peers, like what's coming next for all of us. But the truth is, like, there's so many different things that you can do to serve your audience that you don't have to worry about, like, how am I gonna make money. There's so many different things that you can do to serve your audience. You don't have to worry about how you're going to make that money, because you've got a lot of different options. And the key is finding out what your audience wants. Yes, it's going to be, listen, y'all better get with Natasha, get signed up for this workshop. It's going to be awesome. When I tell you, like, I've been watching her, and she's so consistent, and she really is passionate for people, you guys. So if you really, I'm telling you, if you need to get back in control of the things in your life so that you can do what fills you up, do what gives you joy, go ahead and get connected with Natasha. So you can put together a live event pretty quickly with a little bit of friction. Just get it going, right? And so that's one of the things that we talked about with Natasha, was like, look, you don't need a whole lot of fancy stuff. You just need to get this thing going. Let's not overcomplicate it. You know how you see some people using like really fancy systems and things like that. Like I love technology, and I like getting behind the scenes and setting up the technology and things like that. But you don't have to have all of the fancy stuff. Like, you guys, like, ever since the pandemic started, I think all of us know how to use Zoom, right? So if you can use Zoom or any type of platform where you host meetings, you can host a workshop and you can put it together pretty quickly. Joaquin says, not good at English. That's okay, Joaquin. That is perfectly okay. So, all right, so we talked about doing one-on-one coaching or group coaching or live events. Those live events, remember, they can be virtual or they could be in person. The good thing about a virtual event is that there's not a lot of cost to get it going. You really just need a platform where you can meet with your people. And if you don't have a platform, let's say you're like, listen, I don't want to pay for any platforms right now. You can set up a Facebook group, and then when people pay for your event, they join the Facebook group, and you can go live in the Facebook group and teach your content. Like, that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about minimizing the friction. Don't make it difficult. Don't overcomplicate it. Okay. So you can put something together pretty quickly and not worry about like all of the stuff that we overthink sometimes. And we kind of put our own obstacles on their path, in our path, and it's totally not necessary. So workshops work well, boot camps, anything that you can do to teach your content live or in person. The benefit about doing something live is that, like, people are ready to go somewhere. I know for me, I'm ready to go somewhere. Like, I love to travel, and I love to be in the room with other entrepreneurs. I just love learning. Like, that's why I have so many degrees. I just love learning. I think I'm going to be a lifelong student. So people are ready to travel. But the only thing about doing an event in person, if you don't already have a place where you can host the event, they can get pricey. Okay. Those events can get pricey. And if you're just starting out, dishing out a lot of cash to host an in-person event, that could put you under instead of give you a nice jump start. So I usually recommend, if you're just getting started, virtual events work very well. And you can start getting the feel for getting your battle rhythm and getting a feel for how things work. And you can also figure out if you actually enjoy this. So it's a great way to get your feet wet and get things going. I don't have the funds for all the fancy stuff I'm using. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That is how you do it, right? When you're starting out, if you guys, so I recommended this book to one of my clients, Profit First. It's a book that talks about it's by Mike Michalowicz. It's a book about how to manage your how to manage your business finances. And in that book, he talks about how you want to not even if you're just starting out, right? But especially if you're just starting out, but you always want to minimize your expenses so you can maximize your profit. Okay. So many times it's not even just about not having it, right? Sometimes that's just how it is. I remember when I first started, like I sat down, I built my own website. I just wasn't able to dish out that kind of cash for all the fancy systems. So everything that I did, it was very small expenses or free stuff. But that's just is, it's a smart thing to do as an entrepreneur because we have to manage our finances. So if there's something that can get the job done for free, by all means do it, right? Maximize your profit by using things that are free or low cost. I always tell people, don't pay for things unless your business needs it. Okay. I really had to revisit some things, but I'm always talking about, if your business doesn't need it, don't pay for it. But you always gotta just go and take a look and reevaluate, right? So every quarter, just taking a look at, okay, what am I spending out? You know what? I don't really need that subscription. That's what I mean by revisiting things, right? Sometimes you got to go back and take a look and say, I paid for this 3 months ago, but we haven't really used it. Let's go ahead and cancel it because you want to maximize your profit. By all means, listen, use the free stuff as best as you can until your business is ready for more. So if you're doing a webinar or something like that and you're paying for some type of subscription service and you're only going to have 20 people on this webinar, then don't pay for the plan that says you can have 100 or more people, right? You want to pay for the plan that you need. But you guys, there's so many different resources that you can use out here for free to minimize the impact of your business and that are very professional. Okay. So don't be out here spending extra cash if you don't need to. So we talked about one-on-one coaching, group coaching, live events. The fourth way that you can monetize your expertise, the fourth way that you can make money as a coach, consultant, or mentor is by doing VIP days. VIP days are basically a day that you spend with the client. They'll pay you whatever you're charging, and you'll spend a day with them. Usually they're, between 3 or 4 and 6 hours. 3 to 5 hours, 4 and 6 hours. Is really about how you want to structure it. How long is it going to take you to help them to accomplish that thing? But usually a VIP day is focused on one thing. You're not going to be doing 20 different things because you just have a day with this person. So my VIP days are 5 hours. So when I work on a VIP day, so let's say someone is like, okay, I'm ready to launch my program, but I don't know how I'm going to launch. I don't know if I want to do a webinar. I don't know if I'm going to do a live launch. I don't know exactly what I want to do. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about. So I'll work with them to help them map out what they're going to talk about in their webinar or what they're going to talk about in during their live launch or their live video. And so that way when it's showtime, they know exactly what they're going to say. So that's accomplishing one thing. So think about something that you can help people to do. If you don't already offer VIP days, think about something that you can help people to do, that you can work with them for a certain amount of hours and help them to get it done. Sometimes people want it like right away. It's like an intensive, like they're getting it all done and they're crushing that goal in that one sitting with you. So VIP days are very awesome for people who just want it done quickly. Like maybe they don't have time, a whole 12 months to work this thing out. Maybe they're like, listen, I'll pay top dollar to work with you to get this thing done. And I guarantee you that you all have something that you can offer in the VIP day form. So it could be something, if you work with finances, you can help people get their business or personal finances in order. If you're a business person, you can help people work on a specific area of their business. If you are a life coach, you can help people to map out a plan for accomplishing their goals. There's so many different things that you can do in a VIP day. And there are people who are willing to pay you to help them to accomplish that thing, pretty quickly. So next, let's move on to masterminding. Okay. Masterminding is another way that you can make money as a coach, mentor, or consultant. Basically, the reason why I separated the group coaching or group mentorship in the one-on-one from the mastermind is because masterminding is a little bit different, because the whole concept of a mastermind is that you have a group of people who are all contributing, right? So let's say I'm in a mastermind with Natasha and Joaquin, right? So what we will basically do is we would and it, you can have, it can be however you want it to be, but the idea behind the mastermind is that um one mind is good, right? But more minds focusing on the issue is better than one, right? So if you got a mastermind, you got Joaquin, you got Natasha, and you got maybe, six other people in this mastermind, or even 12. I like the number 12. You can have one person. Let's say Natasha's like, okay, the thing that I'm working on in my business is I am trying to figure out how to generate income for my ad spend so that I can have money to spend on my advertising, right? So the way the mastermind would work is that everybody would focus on helping Natasha solve that issue, right? So you got more minds on that issue trying to solve that problem. And let's say everybody gives their input, their advice, their strategies. And Natasha's like, yes, okay, I've got plenty of ideas on how to tackle this. And then they move to the next person. Now they're moving to Joaquin. And let's say Joaquin is like, well, I'm trying to figure out how to shift my brand, because at first I was charging this specific price. Now I'm selling high ticket, and now I'm trying to figure out how to make that shift. And then everybody would pour into Joaquin's problem, and then you keep moving on to the next person. So a mastermind is kind of like that, where you've got all these minds concentrating on the issue, and it could be very powerful. So if you want to lead a mastermind, that could be a nice thing to do to generate some income, but also help people solve their problems. So in essence, people would pay you to join your mastermind. All right. So the sixth way you can make money as a coach or consultant or mentor is by speaking. Now, I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, you may get nervous at the thought of getting in front of an audience and speaking, but I will tell you that speaking is a great way to not just, get in front of people, but it's a great way to find some new clients. So with speaking, if it's a paid speaking engagement, you get paid from doing the speaking part, and then you can possibly get paid again because you may have some people in the audience who want to join your program. So speaking can help you accelerate pretty quickly because you're getting paid to speak, and then you're picking up clients from that audience, because some people are going to hear you speak and they're going to be like, that was amazing, I want more of this. Okay. So another way that you could make some income as a coach, mentor, or consultant is done for you services. So if you have something that you can offer, we talked about the times, right? And how, things are a little bit different right now. And sometimes it's okay to pivot. Like, remember when I told you guys that before I was like really stubborn, I was like, this is what I'm offering and that's it. But I started asking my audience, I started engaging with my audience to find out like what they actually wanted and needed. And I was able to, I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that, right? I didn't even know you guys wanted that until I asked. But heck yes, I can provide this workshop or this experience. And so you'd be surprised at what people are looking for and what you can provide pretty quickly and generate some income. So done for you services. Now I usually don't recommend this unless you need a quick cash injection, right? If you're like, okay, listen, I need to make an extra $5,000 this quarter, so you know what, I can open up a few spots to help people with their whatever you do. But I've had a client who she did coaching on one side, and then she also had at an agency as well. So she taught other entrepreneurs, but she also had an agency where she could take on done for you clients, but she had a team that could help with those things. So some of y'all are like that, where you're multi-talented, where you can teach on one side and then you can do done for you on the other side. But if you don't have a team to help with the done for you part, it can be a lot and it can take up a lot of your time. So I usually don't recommend taking on too many of those because especially if it's just you right now, if you don't have a team, because it can take up a lot of your time. But if you have like specific gifts or specific things that you can do, like for example, I can actually build websites, but I don't offer it as a done for you service. I can build websites, I can build funnels, I can run uh, Facebook ads, all of those different things. I used to do those a long time ago for clients. However, I do not offer that as a done for you service, but I could. So think about those things. If you have something you're like, listen, I need to make a shift and I want to do more of the done for you. But like I said, just really think it through so that you're not tying yourself down too much to where you're not able to serve your clients the way you want to serve your clients. But that is another way that you can generate some income. Another way that you can generate income is by doing audits. And what I mean by audit is looking over someone's work and giving them some feedback. Now, this is something that I do for my clients inside of my program. So if they have something that they need some eyes on, then if you're an expert in something and you can look at someone's work and figure out, okay, you need to improve this, you need to fix that, fix this. People pay for those things because they want they want another set of eyes on whatever it is that they're doing so they can make sure they're doing a great job. So you can do social media audits, you can do audit someone's finances, you can do website audits, you can do meal plan audits, whatever those things are that you can do. Like for example, when I started working with this woman, she's an esthetician, and I had struggled with acne for so long, and I was so tired of it. I was like, I thought that this was only going to be a high school thing, but it turned out that I struggled with acne like well beyond that. And I was just like, this is so not fair. But anyway, I started working with someone. Even though I had been to so many different dermatologists and so many different skin specialists, no one was able to figure out like how to clear my skin up. And I don't know why it was such a struggle, but I was always in somebody's like dermatology office trying to get my skin cleared up. Well, I met with an esthetician, and she did an audit of what I was eating, right? She did an audit of my eating habits. And so she basically asked me like, well, what do you eat on a regular basis? Tell me, so walk me through when you wake up, what are you grabbing? What are you eating? And I started telling her, well, this is what I do. The first thing I do is most of the time is getting some coffee, right? So I'm like, I'm getting some coffee. She's like, okay, well, what kind of creamer do you use? And I'm telling her like all the things that I'm doing. So she was able to pick out the things that I was eating on a regular basis that was making my skin break out. And so like I would have paid like that information was so valuable to me that like I would pay hundreds of dollars if you can look at what I'm eating and like do an audit of my eating habits and give me feedback on what not to eat, what to take out of my diet and what to add to my diet. She was the first person who ever asked me like, what are you eating? I told you guys, like I had been to so many different dermatology offices. No one ever asked me, well, what are you eating? Right. I had never really connected the two. And so now I know exactly what makes my skin break out. One of them is pizza. And pizza happens to be one of my favorite foods. So every now and then, don't talk about me, y'all, but every now and then I'm like, listen, I'm gonna eat this pizza today. And if I have if I break out, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. But I'm eating some pizza today. But it's not something that I do often. It's every now and then, right? Not pizza. It's not something that I do often, but every now and then I'm like, listen, I'm eating this pizza and I'm just gonna have to deal with the consequences. But I discovered that dairy products makes my skin break out. So now I do like almond milk, I do non-dairy coffee creamer. The very things that I enjoyed eating were like they were really wreaking havoc on my skin. So that's just an example of an audit and how valuable an audit can be to someone. So if you can do audits, that's another great way to generate some income. All right, so now let's talk about some of my favorite ways to monetize your expertise as a coach, consultant, or mentor. I think we got, wait, how many did I do? I did 8. We got 4 more. All right, so right, right, messy. It will. Listen, it irritates your stomach, and then it irritates my skin. So dairy, we just need to just throw it out, except for the pizza, except for the cheese on the pizza. But the funny thing is, like I heard someone in the grocery store. You guys, like I don't know if y'all know the struggle, but when I had like when my acne was really really bad, like people would come up to me in the store and they would say, "Oh, hey, Elder Kim." People would come up to me in the store and they would be trying to like give me advice on like, well, if you try this or if you do this, and like y'all, like it was a lot. Like I guess people felt bad. They're probably like, this poor lady, like her skin is terrible. Let me give her some tips, right? And that was when I just didn't know. No kidding. Like when I cut dairy out of my diet, it really changed the game. So I started, like I said, I started using a lot of dairy alternatives. And the other day, no joke, I heard someone telling a woman with acne in the store. No, I'm not joking, y'all. She was buying cheese and somebody told her, "You, if you stop eating cheese, your skin will clear up." And the lady was like, "Wow, I'm gonna eat my cheese." Like she was like, I'm not giving up cheese." And I just kind of laughed on the inside because I remember people always coming up to me trying to give me tips about my skin. And I saw this happen to this lady, but she was just like, I flat outright, like, I'm not giving up my cheese. I'm not giving up my dairy. But yes, it does. Absolutely. It does definitely does cause inflammation and mucus. And that's why, like, when I do eat pizza, I'm like, if y'all see me eat pizza, just know that I'm committed. I'm committed to this piece, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna deal with the consequences. But now, all because of that audit, guys, now I know exactly what not to eat and what to eat. Okay, and it has really changed the game for my skin. Like, if you could have seen my skin before versus what it looks like now, oh my goodness, you would be like, that is a miracle. So, an audit can be powerful. Don't underestimate the power of doing an audit for somebody. All right, now some of my favorite ways to make money as a coach or mentor. Another one is ebooks. You can write ebooks. You guys, people still buy ebooks. I thought ebooks were like dead. People still buy ebooks. If you can type out something, and you don't even have to type it out, you can talk it out, and then you could have someone, have it typed out for a very inexpensive fee, and you could put it into an ebook. And if you want to, you can use the audio version and sell it as an ebook and audio bundle. But ebooks, people still buy ebooks, and so you can. I've done ebooks in one sitting where if you sit down and you type out like, okay, this is how you. I have an ebook on how to create a program, right? So if you sit down and you just type it all out, like, okay, the first thing you do is this, and you type that out. The second thing you do is this. Like you can create an ebook in one sitting and sell it. Like people are making lots of money from selling an ebook that's solving a problem, right? So you want to make sure all of these things that we're talking about, you want to make sure they solve a problem. Okay. That's the first thing. Make sure it's a solution to a problem. You won't have any issues selling if you make sure that ebook solves a problem. I talked to a gentleman years ago, and he was really good at putting sermons together. And I was just like, you need to sell that. Like, you need to sell these things. Like, he loved studying the scriptures. He loved putting the scripture basis together for the sermons and things like that. And I'm like, you can sell that. I'm like, do you know how many people are super, super busy and they don't, or, they don't have the know-how to structure out a sermon, and you could sell them yours that are already done, and all they've got to do is go through the scriptures, go through their own study of the scriptures, and they can have that done for them and save them a lot of time. So that's kind of like an example of, it's kind of like an ebook, but it would be like a sermon. But I'm like, how many people would buy that? Right. And sometimes it's not just about not having time. It's just like some people are like, listen, if you put it together for me, like for example, Elder Kim, if somebody gave me a sermon that's like the scriptures are already there and the background is already done, he's already done all of the research, right? Research, now we know that any kind of research can take a while, right? Biblical research, any kind of research. If someone gives me a sermon and then someone gives Elder Kim a sermon, we're both going to teach it differently, right? It's gonna like we're both gonna articulate that thing differently because we're just different people, right? And so I'm like, you know how many people would buy that from you? Like you would relieve so much stress, right? But you probably have something that you can offer to people in the form of an ebook that they can pay you for and download. And the reason why I like these kinds of things for coaches and mentors, because that's something that you can sell that doesn't require your presence. It doesn't require you to be there. Right. It doesn't require you to be there. You can sell it. You can post a link and make sales like that. You can drive people to, whatever it is that you want to sell. But I think it's really great for coaches, mentors, consultants to have things that can sell without them so that you can focus on like serving your clients and you can still generate income while you're focusing on serving your clients and doing the things that you love to do. Okay. So another way that you can make money, which is just like what we just talked about, is by creating a course. You create a course that can sell without you. People can buy your course and get things done, right? Without you being there. But the course is recorded, is walking them through how to get something done without you being there. I think that is amazing. And here's the thing, I like to do courses live. And then after it's live, I usually sell it. So the person can pay and they'll just get the replays from when I did it live. And I will tell you guys, I was just telling this to my client. I was like, I have not had one person say, well, you did this live first. And I didn't, I would rather do it when you were live. No one ever says that, right? People are just like, listen, let me go and watch this recording so I can get my problem solved, so I can do what I need to do. So you can do a live course and then you could turn around and sell it as sell the replay, and people can buy that from you. Or you can take your time and do a course that's pre-recorded. You've got worksheets and things like that. Both of those ways work very well. But I will tell you, if you're the perfectionist, I'm a recovering perfectionist. So, and the reason why I say recovering is because sometimes I still have to fight that thing back when it comes up. I still have to remind myself, this does not have to be perfect, right? Let's just get it out here and get that momentum going. So if you're the perfectionist, I'm telling you, it works. Like, you can do it live and you can, put that thing out there, do it live, and then you can resell the recording later. And courses work really awesome for downsells as well. So let's say you've got somebody who is like, well, I can't invest in your program right now. You can downsell them into your course that you've already created. I'm cracking up. You can there's a lot of us who are in recovery. It's hard out here in these streets. So so y'all, I'm telling y'all, it was not until I broke out of perfection, that's when I really started being able to make money in my business, when I stopped being a perfectionist. Y'all, like, y'all you really can change lives with, I think it was, I can't remember, I heard say this, but they were talking about like A+ work and like C work, right? So sometimes, like, when I was in school, I was an honor student. And because of that, like, sometimes, like, I got really good grades, but I got bored really easily. So if I figured this out, like when I was doing calculus, it's like, okay, well, I've already figured this out. So like now I'm demotivated. But but one of the things about doing those things is like, okay, so you get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm bored with this and I'm not, putting forth my best effort. So sometimes you do A work, but sometimes you do C work. But there's going to be some times where your best is C work. Like, this is your best right here. And so, y'all, guess what? People can still get their lives changed off of C work. Okay. And so if you can't get to that A work, like that perfections, you can't get that A+ work out there. People still can get help with C work. Like, people can be out here getting their lives changed, even if it wasn't perfect. Right. So that is the principle to remember. That's what helped me to really break out of perfection. And I'm like, you know what? Like, it's always a blessing when you hear people say that really helped me. But on the inside, you're like, oh my goodness, like, I thought I had to wait until this thing was perfect, but I'm so glad I put it out here because, like, people are actually getting help. So another thing that you can do, number 11, is you can sell tools and systems. Tools and systems. So let's say, for example, like for me, I do pretty well at writing emails. right? So let's say I put together a bundle of emails for someone that they can use to email their list for the next 90 days, right? They'll have email content for the next 90 days. Or I can do launch emails where you can actually use these emails to launch your program, to invite people to your launch and to sell during your launch, right? So that's a tool or system that I use that I can sell to somebody else. So if you have something that you use, like let's say for example with the gentleman that I talked about who he created really awesome sermons. If he had his system for that he uses for creating, let's say he created this really awesome spreadsheet in Excel where he's able to store his scriptures and put the background from where the scripture came from. Or if he has like a little word study where he puts the word and then he puts the origin of the word, like Greek or Hebrew or Aramaic or whatever the language that word came from. And he could sell that system to somebody else so that they can go and repeat what he did. So if you have any tools or systems that you can sell, that's a great way to make money. You know why? Because people don't have time. Like we're all, I hate to admit it, you guys, but a large, um, a large majority of the population is what's called time poor, right? Most people are not managing their time well. They're always in a rush. They don't have time to do this. They don't have time to do that. And so people like, they like things that save them time. And another thing too, you don't even have to be time poor to take advantage of something like that. Maybe you're just like, you know what? This time I want to spend money on this because I want to have more time with my family this week. I do that sometimes, like when my husband is home and the kids are home. I'm like, you know what? I instead of cooking tonight, I'm just gonna order something so we can just sit here and have a good time and wait for the food to come instead of me being in the kitchen, the kids being upstairs, and then my husband doing something. Most of the time, my husband is in the kitchen with me. We usually cook together. But so sometimes I'm like, oh, I just want to spend more time with my family right now and more time relaxing. Then I'll order something out. So if you have that thing, the tools or some system to help somebody get a shortcut, save them some time, those things sell well too. Yes, absolutely. Done is better than perfect. I always say that, you guys. I always say done is better than perfect. And I also say paid is better than perfect because you can get paid without your work being perfect. You can always go back and tweak it and perfect it later. But like you can get paid instead of like working on making that thing perfect. Because a lot of times when you're working on perfection, you're just sitting on it. Like you're sitting on this thing and you're not letting go of it. You're not putting it out there and no one's buying it. But if you just put it out there, you'll start getting some sales and you're like, oh my gosh, like people are actually buying this, right? People just want the solution. People want solutions and you got the solutions. So the best thing is to get it out there and start getting that income going. So finally, another way you can make money as a coach or mentor is by affiliates. You can become affiliates to certain programs, products, and services. For example, I love Kajabi. I'm a Kajabi affiliate. So when someone joins Kajabi through my link, then I get compensated for that. So there's a lot of things that if you're using these tools that you can recommend to other people, go see if they have an affiliate program. For example, I use a workout program at home called Daily Burn, right? If I become an affiliate with Daily Burn, and this is if I was a fitness person, right? I could say, listen, if you join Daily Burn right here, click my link, join Daily Burn, then, I've just said that for those of you, if you work in a fitness space, right? Think about the places where you can become affiliates with. And as you're going about the business of coaching and mentoring, when someone says, well, what can I use for my email list? You can send them your affiliate link. And that's a really nice way to generate some income. So think about those systems. I guarantee you, if you go and scroll and look, you will find that a lot of the systems that you probably use, they have an affiliate program where you can become an affiliate and people could join from your link and you could be generating some nice income from that. I also have an affiliate program. If you recommend someone to me, if you invite someone or connect someone with me, or I also have affiliate links. If someone comes into my program and you are the person who brought them, then I will pay you $300. If you are a client, I pay you $500. So that's a great way to get your coaching paid for. So let's say you're like, listen, I want to be able to, join this program. All you will have to do is, bring one person a month, and that pays for your coaching. So think about what kind of platforms are you using that you can become an affiliate in, because a lot of times us as coaches, mentors, consultants, people are always asking us for resources. So you can really have a nice little extra stream of income coming in as an affiliate. Okay. All right. So we've talked about 12 different ways you can make money as a coach, mentor, or consultant. And I'll just do a recap. We talked about one-on-one coaching. Number one. Number two was group coaching. Number three was live events. Number four was VIP days. Number five was masterminds. Number six was speaking. Number seven was done for you services. Number eight was audits. Number nine was ebooks. Number 10, courses. Number 11, tools and systems. And number 12, affiliates. Now, you guys, after today, there's no excuse for you to not be bringing in some kind of cash, right? Now, we agree that, it takes time to get your income to where you want it to be, but no income is not acceptable, right? Because we all have a business and we need to be bringing in some kind of income. So think about any of these. This is not for you to go and try to do all of them, but think about which one stood out most to you and what you can actually implement so that you can start getting the income that you're thinking about. So now you don't have to panic, right? We talked about how earlier, how like times are hard for a lot of people. But since you know so many ways now that you can go and generate some income, there's nothing to fear, because I always say that God's abundance is endless, right? Even when it looks like lack is all around you, there is abundance if you know where to look. Just like one of my favorite, I was about to say one of my favorite scenes in the Bible, because I literally like see it in my head. Like every time I read this passage, when the fishermen were fishing, and Jesus said, throw your net on this side. And they were like, well, Jesus, we've been fishing all night and we haven't caught anything. So they threw that net out there and they caught so much fish that it almost sank the boat, right? So it may have looked like lack because they were fishing all night and didn't catch anything, right? But when they cast that net, when they got all of those, I can imagine the feeling of like you went from not catching anything all night to catching so much fish that the boat was about to sink, right? How amazing is that? So I said all that to say that abundance is available if you're looking in the right place, okay? Right, cast that net. All right, you guys. So I'll be back here next Thursday at the same time. Those of you who know, I go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock in the same place. I'm live on Facebook, in my Facebook group, on my Facebook page. I'm live on LinkedIn and YouTube, all at the same time every Thursday at 12 o'clock. Now, if you have any questions for me, like you can reach out to me. I'm very approachable. So you can message me on any one of those platforms. If you're on YouTube, just email me at info@shantaprince.com. I'm always taking your messages and responding to your emails. So feel free to reach out if you got any questions about anything that I talk about, or if there's a topic that you would like to hear me talk about, feel free to send me a message, and I would love to know what topics you want to hear about. All right. Y'all have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again next week at the same time in the same place.